XCN is a must-have in my portfolio. And the reason why is because not only has it done very well, much like I predicted, I do believe that this is a project that's going to be around for the long haul. And especially during this bull run, I think it could do very special things. Keep in mind, XCN has pumped so much like I anticipated, to the point that my price target for it during this bull run, 25 cents, is now only around a 9x from here. And can you imagine that? That's kind of insane to think about. At one point, it seemed a little bit impossible. However, as of right now, it doesn't seem too bad, right? Actually, as of right now, 25 cents to some people may seem a little bit bearish. Now, even though nothing I say is financial advice nor a guarantee, 25 cents, man, I do believe that this could very well do that during this bull run. And the reason why is because a lot of the hype for Ripple, a lot of the hype for Stellar, now, of course, Stellar, aka XLM, Ripple, aka XRP, a lot of it is beginning to trickle down to something like XCN. I think the reason why is because we've seen this time and time again throughout history. Now, history doesn't always repeat itself, but in this case, it did. Because take a look at when people loved layer 1 blockchains. They loved Ethereum, they loved the BNB chain, they loved Solana, and as of right now, we're beginning to see other layer 1 blockchains really start to gain this momentum. People like to move on. This is just what we've seen. So when people are kind of bored with XRP, XLM, they sometimes try to look for the next best thing that is somewhat still in the niche, still in the category. And when it comes to XCN, it's exactly that. Because when you take a look at XCN, aka Onyxcoin, that is the native token of the Onyx protocol. Onyx, it's focused on global trade and finance. It's focused on the payments market, much like Ripple, much like Stellar. So it's just only natural that people move on to this, if that makes sense. It's like, for instance, people love watching The Lord of the Rings. It's only natural that when the Hobbit movies launch, they like it too. You know what I mean? So the way I view it is that it's in this unique position where the two market leaders in the space, much like XRP and XLM, have done so well to the point that it's also beginning to gain attention just because of proxy, right? Just because it's so similar to that it really has this mass scale attention. But I think, again, even beyond that, people like to say that, oh yeah, XCN can't just survive based off the hype of XRP and XLM. Well, I think it actually could. Take a look at Pepe, for instance. Is Pepe really this revolutionary meme coin? Let's face it, it's not. But because people love Dogecoin and Shiba Inu so much, because meme coins really have this passionate following, they just automatically believe in Pepe too. And look at Pepe, it's one of the biggest projects out there. When you take a look at XCN, people like to argue that, oh yeah, Onyx, again, the Onyx protocol doesn't have the best adoption. It doesn't really matter because adoption in its current form, people don't really care about that. If people cared so much about adoption, then Solana wouldn't pop off, right? Then something like, for instance, you take a look at Avalanche, that wouldn't really pop off because they don't have the best adoption, but still they're gaining this attention because people care about what something could be in the future. And when it comes to, again, these projects that I mentioned, including something like XCN, it has good perceived future anticipated adoption. And again, when you take a look at Onyx, it's just really amplified because people are so bullish on Ripple and Stellar. And for the longest time possible, everyone was scared about Ripple and the whole global trade and finance space, the whole payments market, because of Gary Gensler, because of the SEC. But as of right now, because of the amount of content that's out there, because of the education, also because of the know-how of a lot of people, and also knowing how all of this works, they're beginning to understand that doesn't really matter. And again, of course, XRP, XLM doing well is going to mean good news for something like XCN. It doesn't necessarily mean I want to acquire XLM or XRP. However, I do believe that the next best thing could hypothetically be XCN, and so far I haven't been wrong. I'm not saying that on the journey to 25 cents, it's going to be smooth sailing, because it's probably not. There's going to be probably a couple pullbacks. However, I think better days are ahead. And again, it's not like Bitcoin never had a pullback. The journey for the price of $1 to over 100,000 wasn't this straight shot up. So if, let's say, XCN were to have multiple pullbacks, I'm prepared for that anyways, because I'm dollar cost averaging. Anytime an income, acquire, hold, and I just wait. That's it. Now, am I saying that I have no room in my portfolio for fun projects like meme coins, blockchain gaming projects? No, that's not the case. There's also going to be room for that. However, I believe that XCN has to be one of my foundational pieces, because I view this as like a miniature version of XLM and XRP. So why would I not acquire that? People usually, when they enter this space, for whatever reason, they want to acquire two projects. And that is, if they acquire XRP, they want XLM. If they get XLM, they just want to get XRP too. It's like sometimes, or should I say back then, right? When people believe in Dogecoin, they also want to get some Shiba Inu, and also vice versa. And when it comes to this space, usually, again, people want things in tandem. So what is my tandem when it comes to this space? XDC and XCN. That's it. That's like the two ones I really want to have in this space. That's the ones I want to focus on because XCN, good following. XDC, also very good following. Pretty much both focus on the same thing. So this is a no-brainer pick for me. When people like to say that, oh yeah, XCN was so bad. They said this back then, by the way, right? But they're not saying this right now. And it's not like XCN has bad exposure. It's not like this random underground project that you can only find on some random decentralized exchanges that no one's ever heard of. That's not true. Take a look at exchange listings, for instance, in the case of Coinbase, Kraken, KuCoin, Gate.io, and also much more. This is massive. Take into consideration how these large exchanges, usually they vet their projects properly. I'm not saying that Luna Classic was necessarily anticipated by many large exchanges, but usually these large-scale exchanges, they get things right. They know what they're doing, right? They have a team, they do their due diligence. And the fact that even XCN was able to be listed in these major exchanges before, this massive pump, that's kind of a true testament to just how amazing XCN is. So when you take a look at it, this is going to be a big narrative, in my opinion, hypothetically. Not to mention, I think this board could be so fantastic. Over 600 million crypto owners. This is more than ever before in history, according to Crypto.com research. Take a look at the hype for the global trade and finance space, the payments market, the number of institutional investors, the amount of enterprise adoption. This right here could be so fantastic. Now, people often say that, oh yeah, XCN, this is going to be a project that's going to disappear after this board is over. I disagree with that. I think that something like this is going to be one of the mainstays when it comes to this space. It's going to be something that's going to be around for the long haul, in my perspective. And not to mention, we've seen time and time again these projects that have a good following, which XCN does have that, not to mention being listed in many major exchanges, which again, this is. And third of all, having amazing fundamentals. It's usually very difficult to see a project like that fail or, let's say, not be around for the long haul. It's very difficult. And when it comes to XCN, it has the makings usually of what we see a successful project to be. Right? Again, usually the three major components for a successful project is good exposure, good community, and good fundamentals. We're seeing that as of right now. This is a no-brainer pick for me. I'm not saying I'm going to be 100% correct here. However, as Bitcoin reaches that next level of 150,000, 200,000, maybe even 250,000, and who knows, let's say even beyond, this right here, 25 cents, may seem a little bit bearish, at least in my perspective, especially when I consider just how amazing XCN has done, really. Even I didn't expect this to happen this soon. Even though I predicted this would happen, I didn't know it would be this soon, right? However, the fact that it's happening this soon, I think that it showcases that, man, the journey when it comes to XCN could very well be absolutely fantastic. Because keep in mind, as a worst case scenario, usually altcoins, they peak as a worst case scenario around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. If we consider how the last Bitcoin halving event happened back in April of last year, 18 months is actually around October this year. So historically speaking, there could still be a lot more time when it comes to XCN. And the fact that it's already doing this well this early on, this is insane, in my opinion. Imagine as March, April, May, June, July, as all those months start happening, man, XCN, oh man, I'm very excited. If it's doing this right now, imagine months down the line. And I really can't wait. That's why I'm still staying patient. And it's not like 25 cents is that crazy. If it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $8 billion. Dogecoin reached over 80 billion at one point. I think this is peanuts in the grand scheme of things. However, I'm still staying patient. Only time will tell, but I'm very bullish on it, and I think it's a must-have for my portfolio. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's Willie the Captain, and I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.